Hey, man. See you, man. I'm just gonna make a jig here. I just want to make one. Just like going in this color scheme. I'm like, I want to see how I feel about it. Again, like making one this way. Nothing too fancy about it. Just curious how I feel about it. Fishing it for whatever reason. I was like, oh, what do I want? Let's see here. Hey, Duke. Yeah, I'm just like trying to do the old standard white and black jig, Marabou, but I'm like, do I want it that way? There's only a couple ways to tie it, right? It's a jig. It's just like, no. I wanted to tie one, but I wanted to tie it with not so much crystal flash, but more other material. So I guess we get 1, 8. Like the black. It's already kind of got that. I've lined them all up. If you look at the ends of it, So do I want it this way or do I want it that way? They're next to each other on top of it. This way. Right there. Pull this forward. Look. Missing the juice. I'm just dying, man. I'm just dying, y'all. Hey, I'm just tying it up, man. I'm gonna put the white on top. But it really will be underneath, like the white belly of the fish anyway. So that's why I'm putting the white on the top. Because that's like the white of the belly of the, if it was a fish. And also, so. And I'm gonna put this in the center and see what it looks like. That's what we will do. I tie wherever I tie, and I don't deal with any of the in-between shenanigans in games that are played. And just tie and have fun. assumptions can be what assumptions are. But I know the truth, what I saw in this world. But hey, we're tying. Having fun. How is this like this? What is going on here? I always say, let people try to figure it out themselves, and they still could be wrong. I'm just going to the white and black. I was like, you know what? I like the white and black, and I like the all black, and I like my black and blue, and then I like some of the same color schemes on almost like anything I would tie, but then sometimes, well, at least when it comes to salmon, it's not like that. It's like bright pink with something, like sets them all. It's a different thing. But trout like pink too. Regular, small trout like pink too. Sometimes it's the type of pink though, depending on where you're fishing or where the water shed is. Just put the white on top. And then I put 2 peacock curls in the center. And this is like 8/0 thread. Because I just want to see what this looks like after not tying one for a long time. Just like a simple like combination jig. The color, like it'll be fun to tie it. And I was talking to someone else and they're talking about it, and I was like, I wanted to do just all white because I already did all white. I was like, just for fun, like it's just tie something for fun. Like for me, that was just like that was fun. And then I just put like the piece in there, whatever, something fun. It's like, yeah, that's like ribs of a fish or something. You can change that around. That simple thing, you can change that around, and it'll always be fishable. And you can change the color black and then that on there, that grizzly feather. It's still fishable. And then you can change it to a saltwater pattern and change that to something, and it's still fishable. Like some stuff is just what it is. Just might not catch something when you want it to, and then you pull it out, and you're like, oh, this worked. Today it didn't. Today it did. It's just weird like that. Crazy. Yeah, I'm just doing the black and white, but the center is peacock because it's like the trout, like I said, so the peacock her. Every time you think like her, like throw it, but it's funny. But yeah, like they like that color, even on the midge patterns. They like that little translucent thing about that. I don't know if they can pick it up real good. They obviously can pick it up pretty good because most trout patterns always have that in there. So I was like, I throw it in the center of this. And this is a pretty big jig, but when it hits the water, it shrinks. It's gonna shrink. And this the 1/8 ounce, or what is a 1/8 ounce one? But it's just like it's the combo black and white with the white for the belly because it's gonna be reverse. So white for the belly, and you could still even put the crystal flash in there too. But it's like, do you want to save on it or do you want to put more of it in there? You can get away with like 2 strands, and it'll have like a little something, but not a ton to it. But yeah, so then like the black, it's like a little bit longer. So when you tilt it up, it's like a little longer. You can see it. So I'm trying to make it like that's like the tail, and then the white, and then I'm gonna do the body of this one, and I think I'm gonna do. I could do like all black, or I could do Green. No. I want to go black. A stack. Black and gray belly with a dash of chartreuse. Yeah, when I start putting the black on here, I'm like, I could put the the chartreuse. I could put I got like a fluorescent too, and I have like another one. I'm like, I could do that, or it's like green with black and chartreuse. And I'm like, but it's already it's the simple scheme. Like the simple scheme. I'm trying to stick with it. I'm like, I'm gonna stick with the simple scheme, the simple country. But I was so tempted to put like so much other stuff. Like the other one was busy. That jig was a busy jig. But I don't know. Let's think about it. That thing is just, it's got all kind of stuff going on in there. But then you do this is different. I just do all black. I probably I think I'm gonna, yeah, that's what I'll do. So then I'm gonna try to, you could, you could do, but that'll lose a lot of Marabou though, unless I use something else, another material, type of material. I guess you could stack it all the way down towards a back like that. Like you can go, you can actually stack them in a way so it's like black and white, and then they all stand up like a mohawk. And I know how to make them do that. But then usually I put dubbing or like a type of dubbing down the body. So then it'll be like, it'd be like a green dubbing or like or something to match it. So it'd probably be like all black dubbing then, like down it, and then it'd be white, black, and then it'd be like a zebra, like a zebra, like jig. You could do like that, or you could do it like where it's bigger patches too, if you do it that way. But it's a good way to make leeches if you make them all one color. You need like how that's on top, and then you just go boom, boom, boom. You can put like all black on the top, all black this part as a tail, and then it's a leech on the top, like a little mohawky thing, kind of basically like a woolly bugger, but it's like on the top of it. It's like a little mohawk on it. I have like one or two I tie like that, but they're like brown and then one black, but I haven't tied any of those. But they're like a mix of dubbing and marabou, and they're kind of neat. Handfish, they seem to kind of like them. Probably change the dubbing a bit. It might make a difference. The type of dubbing that was on the original ones that I was making. And I was like, oh, this pattern comes from here. Let's try this. It was one of those type of things. So try to pick out of the big old thing of these. Trying to find the right piece of marabou out of there. Because this one didn't come with many of those feathers that look like the way I want them to do what I want to do with them. It didn't come with many. This particular bunch of marabou really didn't. But it's fun. Want to see this monstrosity? I'm just gonna palmer it. I'm not gonna even use the dubbing twister. I'm just gonna palmer it. What's up, man? What's up, Marcus? Lewis, I see you. Lewis, I see you. So we're gonna just put this one in there. And of course, I'm gonna have to use the wire. to get this to kind of to me to operate like a part of it. Fun. Just still going. Marcus, I'm just still going. Like, I don't know. Just tie, fish, keep going. As you feel it, as you feel like it. And that's how that goes, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. In the scenarios I went through, hey, you can make lures, you can make stuff, you can catch some stuff. I think I'm gonna do some I haven't done in a while. I haven't got to get to do that in a little bit. Is go do my salt water. And for a while I was like really doing that, and then I stopped, and then other things came into play. So I'm gonna end up doing a little bit of salt water too, because I like to fish for the certain rockfish and stuff because they're really good. Take home to eat. And I'm like looking at it because I avoided it because they changed the over here. They like shut it down for a while. In the year they shut it down, and they're like, if you keep that, like it was like a federal. Oh, they're trying to make it like a federal offense here to keep one of those fish. And there's a place I used to fish. I used to catch all different kind of rockfish there. So I went there, and I just went there, and like I knew nobody had fished there for like a year, half the year. So I went there and I fished, and people were like freaking out because I was catching rockfish, and then they were like, thought I was, but I wasn't keeping them. I was throwing them back, and then one guy had already had one in his bucket, like he was gonna keep one, and then it was weird. It was a weird situation, but I was just like, I'm just catching it because I was like, I just wanted to see. I was doing like a sample. I just wanted to see what the numbers were like, and then I was like, let me just throw the jig down over here. And I went to this like a little area, and I just like cast off this place where I know there's rockfish usually, but the numbers weren't that good, and then numbers were really good. And I was like, ooh, and I just threw them all back. And that caused like an uproar. And they're like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just sampling to see if it made a difference. And it was like in the Puget Sound. And I was like, let me just see if it actually made a difference. Cause like, we're going to see. And then there was rockfish they were holding in that place that were never there before. Like, I was like, there was never this size there. Or the species, and the certain species wasn't even there before. Totally different species I never hardly ever saw was there. It was more prominent because the overfishing. It was crazy. And I was like, this is crazy. I never caught one of these in here. So fishing is kind of funny. Like, and then you see that and you're like, well, I guess I did it. I guess they did it at the right time, but maybe not. I don't know. But I want to go back to one of those spots and like, I just want to go in there and see like what, if that population of type of rockfish like became more dominant there, or if it's become more mixed bag after all those years. I'm like, I'm just curious. Cause when that happened, I was like, oh yeah, there's all kind of weird stuff going on right now with the fish in my state at that time for that particular species. So I was like, No, I'm not. I'm the person. I'm just a person, dude. I'm not like nothing. I'm just a person trying to live. Who wants to tie and fish and enjoy doing that, and likes to do other things too. Like other people like to do cook food and be around good people. But this world's crazy. Yeah, saltwater. Saltwater, man. Side jigs and whatever. I haven't seen Mr. Waves around He doesn't get on here often though. He doesn't get on often. I don't get on too often either. Just don't see him. I just get on and tire, whatever on the tire and fish. And peace sometimes. Sometimes not. Oh, there's things that happen at the spot you try to I don't know. There's weird stuff that happens and monitoring and how do you speak when this one's around, that means it's this, and there's all kinds of things that happen in this world, and then they see how you're like free about something else. And, yeah. I might have to like stop it right there because that's probably where it's gonna be. Yep, not even gonna put any. Nope. It messaged me a couple times and then just kind of like mentioned something that was weird that went on, and then that's what I was like, whatever. Like I'm Joe. I'm like, I don't know. I just tired of my stuff. I'm like, I'm whatever. The rest of this stuff is whatever. Just do what you feel you should do it, and other stuff. The drama part now, I'm like, yeah, it can. No, I don't need it. I just want to chill and support folks if I can, even if I can't do stuff the way I want to do it, because there's always other things in the way. Situations that are out of your control, or the type, and it's just out of your control. You're like, oh, that's not okay. So you're like, okay, well, that's not me. It's some stuff. You can't really say your P's and Q pieces, and you're okay. Well, everybody has their things going on, but always try to respect them if you can. It does, but sometimes you're just like, that should have never went like that. There's people like you're like, man. There's people like, I'm like, was so happy to meet them and stuff that like, yeah, I'm getting upset now. See, my head's moving all crazy because I'm getting upset about it. Hold up, let me get upset right now. Nah, there's people, and I was just like, I was like, man, but they're human too. World's a crazy place, but yep. Yeah, I don't have many of this feather, so it actually might end up becoming a different color. Because I was looking through that set of Marabou, and I didn't like how it looked. I really didn't like how it looked. I really didn't. But I picked through and made a few patterns and stuff out of it. Yeah, I'm okay with it. If it looks like this, it's okay. Top. Oh, yeah. No, I started thinking about something. I was just like, oh gosh, I don't even want to think about that. That's what it was. I was like, I don't even want to think about that. That was so weird. people just, it's just too much. I think everybody gets to that stage though. You hit that age or that stage, you're just like, what is this? Like, you're just like, I don't want to bother with this craziness that's going on. Some of us are always we were like that, and then just situations. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I didn't like quite how. Well, like on the top. White across there. I think I'm going to do. Could just do purple. I wanted to do black. I didn't want to do. I don't want to do any kind of variation like that. Too much. I wanted to do this. Yeah, there is no. You ain't got no other choice than to try to do okay though. I think like, even when there's bad stuff, you have to like kind of like make that decision to try to be like, okay, well, that wasn't the best scenario, but you know, and then move along from there. Some people can do that. Some people cannot. Yeah. I've learned that too about other things. Even if you did something a certain way, like sometimes you just do it in a certain way to reveal who the others are, like other people, how they're rolling, moving, because they're. But it's okay. It's okay. Let's get this jig in here. Thinking I should put a little glue, maybe black on the bottom. This is going to swap. I could wrap it with black. That would be really good, but that won't look quite right. Yeah. Cool, man. Just hanging out, tired. After this is done, it's like blurry kind of. It's just, it's acting weird. I'm just kind of like, I kind of got into deep thought for a second, but it's okay. Catch you later. I got into like kind of deep thought about something. So just kind of, while I'm sitting here trying to tie this, we'll just do, we'll just do the. Could always stack one more. We'll stack one more on top. So then it's like really you gotta belly to it and see how it looks. How about that? We'll just do that. We'll put one more. Because that's on the bottom. Like pull this little small quill up. Yeah, we'll just put that and we'll stack that and then we'll just wrap it black. And then I don't know what I want to do with that other part. You do something new with it, right? Leave it basic. We don't know it is time. So we're gonna put one more on the top too, since we did the bottom. But we palmered the bottom to the. So we palmed the bottom. I pulled that piece out. If you heard it, yeah. And then now we're gonna stack this one on top. So once over, you still kind of move it. It's like that. It's fun stuff. Just tie. As you tie, we all learn stuff. Little weird things. Some things you pay less attention to, some things you pay more attention to. But this is like a different thread than I was using in the other jig. I was using like that thicker stuff. So it's like, so it's palmered underneath, tail, real tail on the end, and then stacked one Marabou on the top. So it's almost like it's stacked on top with a pinch 2 times. If that makes any sense. To any flat tires out there, you might know what I'm saying, might not know what I'm saying. I was like, let me go back and look at what that's called so people can, so it'll make sense what I'm doing sometimes. So I'll make actually more sense to some people who read the books of tying. Okay, so basically like a pinch and a pinch, 2 soft loops to make the white part of this, and then underneath you have your actual like tail. So I made like a true tail tying off the tail. But as I did that, I dropped into 4 peacock curl, yeah, three strands of peacock curl, basically quill type of thing. So they're in the center with like a green versus crystal flash. So just like for fun, like see what it kind of comes out to be. And then I think I'm just gonna do the body black, and then I think it's just I'm just gonna make like a woolly bugger style jig, but it's just the tail, the white part of the tail is just more stacked and then short, and then I make this long, the actual tail, and then this part stacked underneath like it's the belly of a fish, and then yeah, if that makes sense. If that makes any sense. So I stacked 2. It's like the belly of the fish. It's white because it was like this. That's the belly you're looking underneath. Black, palmered, black Marabou, tail, a real tail, black Marabou with peacock curl in the center. Don't know. Very fishy like thing. Worth a try. But just black and white. Just black and white. But I want to design white. But I already tied on the white jig. Yeah, it's not about that. I think this world is funny with how we interpret everything and what we pick up and what we see and what we think's happening versus what is happening to us sometimes. I think that's weird about humans. Stuff that we be doing and how they be like, no, what's this? It's like sometimes the mind is already thinking it, they just haven't figured it, and then another person's thinking something else, and yeah, it's not what it is. There's stuff beyond, and I think it's cool sometimes when people oh wait a minute, I get it. There's weird stuff. Oh yeah. All right, so we put that in there, and then we could do brown. Hey, let's do this like a natural color, brown over the black. Like we're gonna do like a natural brown color. Could do brown or black, but I think that's what we'll do. We'll just do like something totally. Yep, this one probably. And we'll do brown. Brown. We'll just do brown. I want to do all black. I changed my mind. I want to do brown mixed in, and now change my mind. That quick. Decisions. This is no itinerary. No itinerary. Let's see here. This. Don't want it to cinch down too much on that. Because I want to be able to see here. Get some glue here real quick. We've made our final decision on how we want to tie it now. Because we want to tie how we want to tie it. We're going to tie how we want to. I want brown in here. I want that brown. I wanted to do all white. Oop. I gotta do something different. I want to do all white. I don't like this one. I'm like, let's do this. I want white with like a little bit of brown. Let's see what it looks like. And then we're gonna put this. Yeah, because I don't have the other part. What's the other? That's okay. It's all good. We know how to make it. Anyway, have to use that copper wire on it. This is that UV. Let's see if it'll. Because this is supposed to be the thinner one. And it's good for making like the bodies also on them. But I needed to get. I'm using it because it says thin. I needed to get into the thread. And it can be a little bit. Still kind of playing with it, but it can be a little bit. Hey, what's up? Yeah, it can be a little bit funny. And it's 20, was it 10, 20 seconds? You're supposed to put it on 20 seconds, but if you put a little bit more on there, you're going to have to hold that light on there more. That's what I see. Just, you're going to have to move that light around it and hold that light on there. That's what I've learned about it, using it so far. So I'm like, I do the same thing with the other kind, but it's just like it glues and then just lets it for a minute. And then this one, it needs to get that light to hit it, right? So but this is the soft one, so it's supposed to get into the thread, so you need to, yeah, it's gonna, I'm not sure. I don't think you need too much of it, so I don't know how well it will perform. Hey man, G-Manzo. I think I said it right, G-Manzo. Yeah, like just light on it. I'm kind of playing around with that UV stuff to see how I feel about it. And I see like one thing I like about it when I do like the midges and stuff, it makes it so nice. But then, and you can do like the cool looking silicone look, look to the midges and stuff, and the like pupa stuff and all that kind of stuff. But then at the same time, it has like this other thing about using it that I notice. I'm like, I don't. I'm still trying to figure that, like, how I feel about it. The little intricacy of it, but it works. It does work. The like that's pretty much like dry almost. Like I don't, there's nothing on my hands, so it's good. It's just when I squeeze that, when I grab that, I was like, I felt a little bit in there, like just barely, but it's in deep down there, so it needs, the light needs to get to it, I guess. So I've been kind of playing around with it, depending on how many feathers I put on there, what the UV does when you're shining the light on it, how I feel about how it seals it. I've been actually kind of like looking at that too while I've been like playing around with these other fly tying accessories that they, the one they were like, it's really great. So that the dubbing spinner, and I'm like, I got used to using it. I was like, oh yeah, this is really, that one is pretty cool. And I was like, oh, I still haven't even tried this other way I can use it. So I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I approve of that one. Pretty good. You just have to get used to. You have to use it a certain way. So once you figure out how to use it, you're like, oh yeah, this is very useful. So black Chanel. Oops. Tighten it down there. Yeah, it's like, you know what? We can just do them. I'll just do this way. Yeah. Just tying whatever. No bucktails though. No bucktails. Eventually, I will tie a few, but I don't. I'm gonna tie like colors that I wouldn't even. I think I want to tie a couple booktails, but I won't even tie the ones I like. Because I don't like. I didn't fish. Look, I don't fish bucktails a ton around here, but they do work. I just don't fish them a ton. Never have. So I'm just like, got a couple fish with them. I liked the Marabous and the other stuff, but they do catch fish, and they have a place. Every the material has a place. Hackle pliers make it easier, definitely for this part. So there's a couple. Only one loop through. Nope. Here, I gotta go like this. Really hard to keep that snug. Hey, Root. This. Just had to put brown, black for fun. Just tie whatever. Have fun. Just a woolly bugger jig, basically, for fun. We just did like some little funny skills in there that aren't really paid attention to. So like that's stacking the Marabou, palmered on the bottom, and then just a regular tail pinched. So when you do that, it makes the two pieces stand on their back. So like you can see it's shortened, like the white part. It's a little extended over into the black because of palmered underneath. So and then there's a black tail in the center. So it's kind of like a cool. You get a different kind of effect too, and that thing's gonna be riding the opposite way in the water, so it's gonna be riding this way. So that's like the belly of it. That would be like the belly of it. That's what it's gonna be riding and looking like. If the fish is looking up at it, and from the side, it's gonna see something like that. As it, and that's gonna shrink. So down out. This be cool. Something cool to mess around with and see. I'm sure there's something similar out there. It's just a woolly bugger with. I just stacked the hair on the tail a little different for how I wanted to like kind of play with like one of the tying skills. I was like, let's just play with that a little bit because it'll be kind of fun. But it only did it on the two feathers, the two pieces of Marabou, but you could do it all the way across and they'll just stand up like a mohawk. It's pretty cool. But it can be used all different kind of ways. You can do it on one side and you can do it on the other side. You can do it so the whole tail, as much Marabou as you have, you can make it look like that. But you can waste a lot of materials sometimes trying to get a certain effect. So and you can do other ways to get the same effect with doing less. If you don't want to burn through a lot of material. I haven't tied a popper in a while, or like a slider. Actually, in a minute. I have a couple laying around here when I used to tie more of them, and I stopped tying them. But I mean, I found more use for catching the fish with, like the fish that were hitting the things around in this state with other stuff, like other stuff to seem more productive. But it was fun to see fish try to grab a popper, and then I'd fish the hard bait real lures, you know. So that's what I learned. I was like, oh well, sometimes it's you get it. I was like, I don't want to dial in to figure that out. I'll just fish it this way. But I like the sliders, the little sliding, the deer hair ones and stuff. And I've made poppers with the with like cork out of cork and painted them and stuff before. But I haven't hardly done any of that stuff now. Like the tying poppers or like the deer hair sliders, hardly. It's all been. I have some elk hair around though. But spinning the deer hair and then I need better scissors. Those little like, what are they? They have like ones that look like the muddlers. You know what I'm talking about? The muddler. They're like the muddler minnow in the front, but they're like deer hair or elk hair. But they have those. They're like bass flies though. Yeah, just those are basically like muddlers that are just trimmed to look like that when they have like a gurgling effect on the surface. The way they're weight, like the way they tie the hair and stuff. I'm in Washington State. The rainy state. The rainy state. Time whatever catches whatever I can, if it will catch anything. But sometimes it's like a simple color, like all white. The all white, this little streamer, like yeah, that's probably fine. All black streamer, little crystal flash, yeah, it's fine. Or like two tones. If it's brown, you can switch between them. Grains, they're usually fine. You start getting like elaborate to blend it. That's when you start having. I don't know. That's what I learned. Like, patterns get too busy, but for some species of fish, it doesn't matter. If the colors are just like crazy, for some fish it does matter. Skyly, but sometimes it does not. Weirdest color is the color you want. Let's see. Glue. And this is just a. Letting it beat up on the end. So I'm using the new stuff, and it doesn't have a brush. So I'm gonna do it this way. So it doesn't have a brush. I'm using a piece of copper weight that I have, and I'm just wiping it off with a paper towel. And that seems to be fine. So it doesn't like get totally on my hands. So I don't have this like tons of glue on my like dripping on my hands. It's just on the little copper rod. And then I just let it beat up and drop it onto the jig or fly or whatever it is. Which is fine. Seems to work all right. Seems to work okay. For just trying it out for the first time. Yeah, I just got all 3 bottles, the one for the knots, everything. Let's just see how I feel about it. Yeah, it's okay. Works pretty good for certain stuff. It really helps. And some other stuff, I'm like, don't like it as much. Because it created a different, I guess like a different issue. So like, oh, the knot was super strong, but then it created this other issue. And I was like, I don't like that happening now. And I'm like, yeah, no. I was like, I'd rather have that happen because that's I fish for that to fail. And certain things with the terminal rigs, search. I was like, oh, I fished purposely. Like I know that could fail because that's the strongest part of it. But then when I did this thing with this knot thing I did, it was too strong. Let's just say that, and I was trying it out. I was like, oh, it's too strong. I was like, that knot is like too strong. You need it to break almost. So this one knot, I was like, yeah, I need it to break. And I was like, I tried something when I was fishing. I was like, yeah, that's not good. I was like, yeah, I like this cool stuff, but I don't like this part about it. It made it too strong. Changed the knot strength, which was good if it was like on my flashers or something. That makes sense on my flashers. But like I just like put a drop on the dropper to see what it would feel like. And it's meant for knots and stuff. And I was like, let's see what it'll do. And I UV glued it, and I was like, let's see how it breaks. And I checked it out, and I was like, oh, so that's pretty good. I was like, but I didn't like where it broke at, because then I realized that's where it's always gonna break, because that type of knot's on there. And I was just like, I don't know if I like that. I didn't like that part about it. There was something I was just something I'm still kind of playing with. Like if you take it and use it on the knots, like it says to, and knots and different things, I just like played around with it a little bit. I didn't like how it kind of, yeah, but it was good stuff. It's still good stuff. The UV glues and resin. It just depends on what you're doing with it. You have to play with it and see how see how you feel about it. Like me, I'm like, this is like a couple weeks of messing around with it. A lot of stuff I didn't show live or anything, just kind of like messing around with it. Just like tie something, mess around with something, like try some other stuff with it. What's wrong with it? But yeah, you can't really see what you can see, but you can't. There it goes. It's only gonna focus because my hand's in the view. Y'all were staring at a blurry thing while I'm just chatting away, but there it is. I mean, instead of putting, I didn't have black to put in to wrap unless it was going to be a certain type of hair, and I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to like spin it and do something with it, so I was like, just do like brown, like a woolly bugger brown with black and white, and it's palmered perfectly on the bottom. So if you look at the bottom, it's not, it's a little bit different. See, it's longer, and then it has a true tail. So kind of gives it and it gives it a cool effect, I guess. And it would ride like that in the water. So it's a jig, whatever. We have fun on here in Thai, whatever. Just have fun with it. Yeah. And I didn't put too much I didn't put any crystal flash in this, just the peacock feathers in it, just for fun. Like a very simple, plain woolly bugger. You can see the little green when I turn it. Instead of putting Flashaboo in the tail, or a synthetic, just put actual true feather that has flash to it. Natural flash, I guess you would call that. Hey man, monkey business in the house. I just got done tying that. Just a little jig. The plan was to tie one jig, and I've been on now for an hour, just jabbering away about fishing and whatever. But that's it, y'all. I'm gonna head out of here. I've been on for an hour just tying, talking about trying to stack the feathers of this Marabou on there. Like, this is something I kind of like realized to pinch. I've saw something else. I was like showing them, like, look at this. I'm like, this is something a book I had, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's like I always just do that and go about it. I don't think anything of it. But I was like, here's another way you can utilize it so you get like a different shape to the way a jig looks. So that's three different things together. You got a tail, and then you got a stacked Marabou, and then you have a palmered Marabou to make that tail. So that's three different like skills just to make one tail, and then you get like a different effect to it on the bottom. But it's actually going to be the top. You get like a different effect to the jig, even though when it hits the water, it's going to sweep down. Once it's going to shrink, but you're going to get like a different thing to it because you did three different skills to make that one part of it, if that makes sense. You're going to get like a different kind of swimming action in the water just by the way the hair is stacked slightly that way. It's very slight, but it's just enough. When you combine the different ways, you get different effect, but the same thing. Same thing, but different effect. So how you want it to look. Like, The black kind of blends in right there. So it's kind of, and it does right here too, because I palmered it there with the bottom half. So you can do like that same thing, and then if you palmer another one, then you have black will sweep over the top of that white, and you'll just have a white patch right there. So you can do all that kind of stuff, and yeah, it's fun stuff. But anyways, I'm out of here. Thanks for stopping in and watching me jibber jabber about tying jigs and fish and everything else under the sun. I appreciate everybody who stopped in and supported to hang out for a little bit. Watch me just go through my motions. So go through the motions, right? But anyway, thank you for coming in. Hope you guys enjoyed me tying this little jig here and talking about it and techniques and how I view it and see it and things that I've learned, and try to show other people things. What do they think about it? You know. So, anyway, I'm out of here. Have a good night, y'all. Peace.